Hi everyone, this is Felix, admin of the forum and therapist. I just thought it's quicker to do a FB Live about the recent post on can you, is there a video available for my 9-year-old that explains hypnotherapy and your therapy approach? She has some fears about watching the video. So what this is a bit of a fact-finding and brainstorming process because it's quite easy to explain to adults. It's not that easy to explain it to kids. You could sort of talk about, the film is an Inside Out where you have little parts of the brain as little beings. It can be explained that way, but 12, 13-year-old might think that's a bit too childish. So what I thought I'd do is explain to adults first, and then sort of get the idea about what might appeal to children. So the first thing is, the reason this therapy can work so quickly is I'm not doing graded exposure desensitization. I'm doing a conceptual shift. So the brain thinks that food is dangerous, and I use a series of approaches and techniques to prove otherwise, but in a way that children can understand. I know psychologists and what have you are going to say, oh, just touch it, what's it going to do? But that doesn't really get through. We want to explain it in another way. So basically, I've designed this therapy with a couple of things in mind. I know that the number one fear of children is they want to feel safe, they want to feel in control, which is why they are so resistant to the idea of hypnosis, because they believe I'm going to do hypnosis. They believe I'm going to mind control. I'm going to compel them to eat food. And to be honest with you, I don't do any of that. You don't need hypnosis to have hypnosis-like changes. So this is what kind of I want to explore. I want to say to people, okay, I'm going to work with a part of your mind, and I'm going to show, actually I'm going to start over. I'm going to show you how to work with a part of your mind towards a goal. And once you understand that, you can apply towards RFID. And this is not new. You have done it in other areas of your life as well. So swimming, riding a bike, gymnastics, dancing, football, something like video games. You are pursuing something, you're engaged with something that you want to pursue, that you don't see as a threat, you see as desirable. And you also avoid other things in life that are maybe not dangerous, but you associate with boredom or tediousness or something like that. So, fundamentally the brain pursues pleasure and avoids pain. So how do we associate? At the moment, food has been associated with pain and danger, and I'm reassociating it with pleasure and safety and all these things. So I guess at the moment, sort of thinking out loud, I'm thinking, okay, number one, I don't use hypnosis, and you've seen the results, and they look pretty dramatic in some cases, as if I've used hypnosis, but I don't actually use hypnosis. What I do is I'm going to talk with a part of your mind, help you to understand things differently, help you to understand this part of you differently, and get you working together as a team towards a goal. So that's the long and the short of it. Again, with it's gonna backfire if you try and say to a child, I'm gonna control you and make you eat food, and it's the worst fear. So that's something I definitely don't do, because it'd be backfiring. So what I'm going to do also, I just want to go through some of the questions again, brainstorming things. So I've got my thing open here, my laptop. So 9-year-old, 50-year-old is also scared, 8 years old. Okay, so it's that kind of age. So yeah, with the videos, I have covered this. The videos, and again, it's going to hypnotize you and make you do something. The idea is, look, just check something out. The indirect approach is check something out. It won't make you do anything against your will. Stage one is I want you to just educate yourself about what's going on. You don't have to commit to anything. So that's the first thing I want to do. Take it in stages. This is not a treatment that I do to you. It's a treatment I do with you. It's not like going to the dentist where you just lie back and somebody else does everything. We're doing this together. You have control, and I will show you, the tools and what you need to do. So that's just the only part that makes my child hesitant is the hypnosis bit. Well, luckily I don't even use it. So what else do we have here? Loss of control. Well, if anything, as I said, all this it does is actually put you more in control. When you're afraid of something, you're not in control, you feel out of control. And what this does is it helps you understand you feel out of control because you're panicking about something that isn't actually dangerous, doesn't merit the panic. And once I explain that in the way that's very kid friendly, analogies and metaphors and stories like that, that idea does sink through. Let's just do this as well. My son is 10 with RFID, sensory processing. I've said quite a lot of stuff about sensory processing in the past. It's not clear cut. It can be in many cases, sometimes completely anticipation, expectation about food, rather than the actual thing about itself. Sensory processing disorder is a genuine thing, but it's on a spectrum, and people think they're high on the spectrum when actually they're sort of mild and moderate in many cases. And as I said, that's to do with expectation, anticipation. My son is 10 with ASD and developmentally delayed. Yeah, it's going to have to be done on his level. I am working with a parent who has an ASD kid who is a teacher or some kind of educator with ASD, and she's developed some really good images to explain in a way. She's had some stuff happening, but I'm in talks with her, and hopefully we'll get something out about that that'll make it clearer to a young child with ASD. It'll be a lot more visual. Right, let's see what else you got. Yeah, I think one day I might have to redo it. I found it very advanced for a 9-year-old. Yeah, I think it was a 9 to 10 I was aiming for, and then younger and younger people were seeing it. That is about sometimes the parents will have to have an input in terms of translating it into kid, like pausing, like, what do you understand from that? You know, this is what Felix is trying to say. I think that answers all the questions. So yeah, I'd like to have a think about that, and what I've said for you would appeal to children. What do you think would work with them? And then I can maybe tidy up and do it that way. But it's, yeah, I mean, it's not that easy to say I'm waiting for a conceptual shift. So to work with a part of your brain without any hypnosis to show you how you control it or how you will lead it, like you do with other things in your life. It's going to be the long and the short of it. So let me know what you think about that. And this is a work in progress. So yeah, we're still brainstorming. So if you're a UK watcher, UK TV watcher, 8 p.m. tonight, Extreme Food Phobics, just on the W channel. Okay, I'll catch up with you soon.